Hello, this is Christiana Harris, and welcome to my TED Talk presentation. Growing up, I wanted to be just like my two older brothers. One played soccer, hockey, and baseball, and the other played football, basketball, and powerlifted. Though our parents were musical, we all somehow got the athletic gene. At a very young age, I learned how much fun it was to be part of a team. I started out with soccer, like most do, and then volleyball led to basketball, which led to softball, and then tennis and cheerleading. So let's just say that if it was sports related and I could play with my friends and work towards a win, I wanted in. It was around fourth grade that I noticed a similarity in sports and work or schoolwork. My teacher said, "Okay, class, we're going to break into teams." And I immediately was like, "Team? Ooh, pick me. I want to play." And it was obviously for a project, but it was then that I realized that you can be a team off the field just like you can be a team on the field. So much of what I learned as an athlete translates to the workforce and specifically leadership. The words teamwork, strategy, communication, morale, performance, goals, consistency, motivation, work ethic, passion, accountability, commitment, they all can be applied to the world of sport and the world of leadership, which is why I wanted to take a deeper dive into the topic of how athletes use what they learned on the field to be great leaders off the field. Even though I find similarities in sport and leadership to be very clear, there's actually not a lot of research out there surrounding it, which is very surprising to me. However, through Google Scholar, I was able to find a book by Mark Durand that spoke more about how athletes use what they learn on the field to be great leaders off the field. Mark wrote, "A recent survey of 100 randomly selected CEOs of the UK's 500 largest companies found that 46% of CEOs had won awards for their athletic proness. By comparison, only 23% accumulated awards for academic achievement. Overall, 71% believed that compulsory sports at school shaped their business acumen in a positive way." Mark goes on and gives examples of successful business leaders that recognize that their sport experience helped lead them to their successes. He mentions fashion designer Vera Wang and how she used to figure skate. NBC's president and CEO Jeff Zucker used to play tennis, and Nike's Phil Knight ran track, which makes total sense. The example that crossed my mind when I thought of this topic would be how athletes give back to the sport that they are how athletes would give back to their sport and in the leadership capacity, which, as we learned in this semester, would be considered expert leadership. Which leads me to Magic Johnson. He played for the Los Angeles Lakers for 13 seasons and led his team to the NBA Finals 9 times, all while making 12 appearances in All-Star games, in addition to earning a gold medal at the Olympics. He was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2002, only later to become president of the Los Angeles Lakers basketball operations. No big deal there. His path credits his expert leadership power. However, his skills don't stop there. Not only does his knowledge of the game help make him successful, but so does his personality. When watching some of his old interviews, reporters would often mention how his smile and personality would light up the court, and that he couldn't help make everyone else around him smile and have fun too. Not only has he proven his expert leadership power, but he's lived through strong, charismatic leadership on and off the court. Continuing my research, I came across a CNN article in 2015 that spoke about how they noticed a trend in high-profile female leaders in the business world. They highlighted Meg Whitman, the CEO of Hewlett-Packard, and how she played both lacrosse and squash at Princeton. Indra Nooyi, the CEO of Pepsi, which I love, played cricket in college in India. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton played soccer, tennis, softball, and basketball while growing up. Former Governor of Alaska Sarah Palin played basketball in high school, and I believe she earned the nickname Sarah the Barracuda. And Beth Brooke Marciniak, Global Vice Chair of Public Policy for Ernst & Young, played basketball at Purdue. And Beth shared in her interview with CNN, "We're actually starting to show that it's not just coincidence. The success in sport does have a very significant correlation to the success in business." Though CNN has strong examples, my second scholarly find is from a study that was conducted at the University of Windsor, titled "Investigating the Importance of Athlete Leadership Behaviors and the Impact of Leader Tenure." The text states, "Athlete leadership has been defined as an athlete occupying a leadership role, formal or informal, within a team who influences a team member to achieve a common goal. To date, researchers have demonstrated that athlete leaders tend to be skilled performers. This relates directly back to the skills I listed off earlier in my presentation that athletes use on and off the field. My final example of how the lessons we learn on the field can be translated into leadership off the field is one that I was personally taught by one of my leaders. When I first became a leader at Walt Disney World, I was extremely eager to build relationships with my peers and gain respect from my cast members by working alongside them. Fourth grade Christiana was so excited to be part of this team and couldn't help but want to join my cast members in all their tasks and responsibilities. I was very quickly coached on this. My leader, Eric, in the picture said, "Hey, Christiana, I appreciate you wanting to do the job with the cast members, but that's actually not what you're here for." He said, "You're here to guide, lead, and coach them through it." He went on to give the example. So let's just say when your player, is struggling on the mound, you don't see the coach take off his hat, put on a glove, and go out there and start pitching, do you? This concept blew my mind, not only because I knew Eric had never played a sport before, but because it was a lesson related to sports. I thanked Eric for the feedback and understood that if I step onto the mound or do the job of my cast members, that's then me taking my leadership hat off and abandoning my job, essentially. But still, knowing Eric wasn't an athlete, I had to ask. I said, "So, have you played baseball before?" And he goes, "Oh gosh, well, of course not me. That uniform, I hate dirt." He goes, "But I'm a corporate athlete. I have to train and think and perform just like them." Ironically, 5 years later, Disney actually introduced a program to its leaders called the Corporate Athlete. We leaders learned the same training methods and mentalities that professional athletes use in order to perform on a similar level. I look forward to future scholarly research that continues to prove that what athletes learn on the field help them to become great leaders off the field. But until then, I plan to play and lead on, and I hope you do the same. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my TED Talk. I hope you enjoyed it. Here are the references I used to create it.